shit's in the safe. Got me a spot out the way. Nigga just tryna be safe.
Let's get to the sports talk.
Let's welcome in Chiney Ogwmik to talk Raptors. The defending NBA champions have had a good start to the season, Chiney. So what's been the reason for their success so far?
Well, I fell in love with the Toronto Raptors organization when I was working the G League Showcase in Mississauga. And there I watched Lorenzo Brown and Malcolm Miller in the G League with head coach Jerry Stackhouse that same night playing a Toronto Raptors game as well. So they played in 2 games in 1. I thought that ended like in AAU or in high school days. But what I learned from this organization is that they have success. They're great at nurturing and growing talent. And that starts from the top all the way down.
That show you they have a good system in Toronto. That show you they know how to build their players up. That show you they know how to develop their players. Their development team is good. And that's why this team is successful to this day. Because the players that they develop turn out to be the guy for them. Siakam. He's their superstar now. They know what direction they was heading in with him before he took off last season into this season. Because the first year, I was like, I think 4 or 5 points. And your jury stick with him because he saw something in him. He know what his Siakam was going to bring to the table with him. That's why he kept him on his team. And look at the outcome now. Fred VanVleet playing their G League team. They developed him. Look what he did in the finals. Look what he did in the finals. Look what he did for this team in those years. That's why they kept him. Because look what he's doing for them. They know how to do player development. They know how to develop these players into the guys they want. And the outcome, and this is why this team is a solid team this year. Because their department know how to develop their players.
You have the executive level with Masai Ujiri, who everyone says is one of the best game changers, right? And then it trickles down to the coaching. You know, Nick Nurse, he was a G League coach. Obviously, won a championship with the Raptors and orchestrated that. Trickles down to the players. Pascal Siakam was a G League Finals MVP and champion. Chris Boucher, who I watched ball out working the showcase, he was a G League MVP. So they are a farm system of talent, and I fell in love in the cold.
That's why Detroit was trying to get the jury to come and be their GM. They saw the development he was doing with these players, so they wanted to offer him a big contract to come there and help them do the same thing in Detroit. But he wanted to stay put because he loved what he built here. Nick Nurse was in the G League coaching. He won a D League championship with them. So they brought him up. And look what he done for the Raptors. Won the championship last year. They 20-8 this year. They know how to develop their coaches as well. Just like their player, Chris Boucher. He doing solid things for the Raptors. They just know how to build a system in a G League team and develop their players and bring them up.
In Canada.
You know, homegrown talent, that's the way to do it in many ways. Now, there was a question of whether or not they would fall off a cliff when Kawhi Leonard left. How has his departure affected the team?
Well, Kawhi, everyone knows, was a big piece of that championship, but I think what he did, he gave the Raptors validation. Everyone, from the coaching to the players. We talk about Fred VanVleet, we talk about Pascal Siakam, we talk about Kyle Lowry, who we knew had struggled in the playoffs. But the biggest reason...
The good thing that happened to them, they got Kawhi and Danny Green from the Spurs. They both had championship experience. They know what it takes to win a championship. They know what they was getting out of Kawhi. They know what they was getting. They know what they was getting a 1-year rental. It's a win-win for both of them. Raptors got the championship. Kawhi got a chance to go home to LA and play. Then you brought in Danny Green, who was a key defender for this team last year. He hit big shots in the finals as well. He defend good and through the playoffs, played good through there. It is they know what they was getting from Kawhi Leonard. They know it was just a one-year thing. It's a win-win both ways.
The Raptors struggled. LeBron James, right? So LeBron James, the way he sort of faced off and sort of, it gave him the heebie-jeebies just a little bit. The Raptors, right? So now that they have a championship, you know, they have validation. One of my favorite phrases is, you go through it to get to it.
When they kept playing against LeBron the Cavaliers, he stopped their momentum from going to a championship. So when LeBron deferred to go to the Lakers, they know this was their opportunity to get one last season. That's why they went out and got Kawhi. And then they know what they wanted. They see he went to the West, and this is our opportunity. Jerry said, I'm going to get him here so we could win this championship.
The Raptors went through it largely, you know, at the mercy of LeBron James. But now that they have a championship, they've gone through the highs, they've gone through the lows, and I think that they ended better for it, clearly.
So where would you rank the Raptors among Eastern Conference contenders?
I would love to throw them in the top 3, but I have them around the 4 or 5 position in the East, largely because number 1 has to be the Bucks. You know what Giannis Antetokounmpo is doing. Number 2, the Celtics. Kemba Walker's addition. He's the perfect fusion of, in my opinion, Isaiah Thomas and then also Kyrie Irving at the point guard position, being unselfish but also an undersized scorer. They're one of the biggest surprises of the season. Now the 76ers and the Raptors, I can go back and forth. The only reason I give the 76ers is because they have a little bit more sort of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. But the Raptors are right in the mix. Now, I know health has been a question for a number of their players, but if they're healthy, I would not want to play.
Only I'll put the Raptors over the Sixers this season because they already got things established and they know who they are this year. They know what they building around. They know they was building around Siakam. That's why they gave him that extension, because they know they gonna keep the same team around him. And they know what they getting from him. That's why I say I'll give them an edge over the Sixers. Because the Sixers still trying to figure out who they are this season.
A team like that in the playoffs.
You know, so it's one thing to make the playoffs, it's another thing to go deep. What's the one thing the Raptors will have to do better to make a deep run in the playoffs?
They will absolutely need more center production, meaning Serge Ibaka is pretty much holding it down at the center position. He's only giving you about 13 points per game. Outside of that, Marc Gasol, 6 points per game. Last season gave you 9, so not even that much, even though he's a good facilitator. But number 1, first and foremost, has to be making sure they can hold down the paint. Now, I think Pascal Siakam, it's good to have him in the open court in transition and stuff like that, but the center position is a position that I think a lot of people will exploit.
Okay, we'll have to wait and see how they do. This is a team that many people thought, would they be good? We're not sure. So far, so good for Toronto. Chiney, thank you.
Always.
Thanks so much for watching.